Hello everyone, welcome to Barcelona, and I'm Rich Hagan. I've been joined by Gavin Verhey all the way from Wizards of the Coast. It's a bit of a stretch from Seattle to Barcelona.
But I'm glad to be here, that's for sure.
It is great to have you here. Now, we should find out a little bit about you, because not everyone, apart from anything else, not everyone at home knows that you used to be a very serious player of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I did a lot of pro play, wrote a lot of articles, did some webcast stuff, and now I get to sit here as someone who made the game talking about a card that's in a new set. It's so super, super exciting to me.
So what is your day job? What's your daily job at Wizards of the Coast?
Right, so I'm a game designer, which means that I get to go in, play a lot of Magic, make new Magic cards, and come up with some of the crazy ideas that inspire new sets.
This sounds heartbreaking.
It's very difficult.
We talked with Ian Duke yesterday how not everyone in R&D works on every set because there are so many things in the pipeline, so many projects, most of them top secret. Were you involved with Oath of the Gatewatch?
Absolutely. I was on the development team for Oath of the Gatewatch.
All right, so walk us through the process. We have pre-design, is that the first bit of things?
Right, so first we have exploratory design.
Okay.
And that kicks off far, far before even development starts or design starts. And that's where we're kind of exploring the ideas, seeing what could fit in this world.
Super big picture.
Super big picture, trying out mechanics, trying out basic ideas, themes, if you will.
Almost philosophies. It's more a philosophy than a mechanic at that stage.
Well, absolutely, Rich. And almost no cards from exploratory design will survive through the rest of the stage. It's all just kind of testing stuff out.
Okay, so then we get to initial design.
Right, and we get into initial design, which is sort of, if you imagine design and development as a canvas, design is creating the canvas, filling in the lines, kind of creating an image, a rough image of what it's going to be, but they don't finish the picture. They just start it and create the elements needed for development to take it the rest of the way.
Okay, and we get this sort of few-week period, the sort of handoff, which we call divine. So that's half design, half development, where the two teams kind of come together, get a real strong sense of the ultimate direction they want to go in. But once that's done, then it's over to development. So what is the nuts and bolts of development?
Right, so while design is a lot more about coming up with the mechanics, coming up with like the themes, development focuses a lot more on tweaking it, making sure that it's a good fit for standard, making sure everything's fun to play with, that when we come to events like the World Magic Cup, everything is fun and enjoyable for the players to play with. And so after a lot of rigor and testing things out and mana cost evaluation and power toughness modifications and making some new cards as well, we end up with a finished Magic set.
I imagine you'd quite like to see a brand new card from Oath of the Gatewatch, so why don't we do that? It's time to reveal this. It is Crush of Tentacles, 4 blue. It's a mythic rare sorcery. Has the ability Surge, 3 blue, and the reminder text, the rules text for you. You can cast this spell for its Surge cost if you or a teammate has cast another spell this turn. Okay, then it says return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. If Crush of Tentacles' Surge cost was paid, put an 8/8 blue octopus creature token onto the battlefield. Plenty of mouthfuls in there, Gavin. Take it away. Tell us all about Crush of Tentacles.
Right, we've seen a lot of tentacles on the Eldrazi side so far this block, but it's time for the allies to take their attempt at it. And Crush of Tentacles is something pretty exciting. First of all, it's just an awesome Magic card. 6 mana, big splashy sorcery, does some really cool stuff, kind of resets the board in a way, if you will. Let's talk about Surge a little bit, Rich.
Right.
It's very exciting. So this is a brand new mechanic premiering in Oath of the Gatewatch. And it's a way to kind of set up your spells. You can be a little tricky with how you want to run this out. For example, if you have a lot of mana, you could play a 2 or 3 mana spell and then Surge, Crush of Tentacles. Or if you want, you could play a 0 mana spell, perhaps a Spider Silk Net or a Briber's Purse even for 0 mana.
Okay.
And then Surge it right away and get this 8/8 octopus on turn 5, which is very exciting.
Okay, so the main cost, 4 blue. This Surge cost, 3 blue. Is that like a template for Surge so that everything's reduced by 1, or is everything reduced in it? Is that what Surge does for you?
Yeah, you'll see a variety of cost reductions across the board, and they don't always necessarily give you an extra thing. Sometimes you just get the cost reduction at common, for example. But there are some cards, such as Crush of Tentacles, that really give you some great bonuses if you manage to pay their Surge costs.
Right, okay, so the fundamental of it is the idea of trying to do 2 things at once, and the second thing, which is your Surge card, is going to be cheaper regardless. Even at common, they're always cheaper than the main cost of the card if it's the only thing you cast.
Absolutely.
All right, okay, that's pretty straightforward. Clearly, an 8/8 blue Octopus Creature token as the bonus, I can see why it's mythic. But presumably there are plenty of smaller effects that we're going to see spread throughout the rarities.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of different things, and it's a mechanic that appears both on spells as well as creatures. So you'll see both kind of cards show up.
Is it blue exclusively, or is it blue focused, or is Surge a mechanic that's sort of spread right across the set?
It shows up in a few different colors, yeah.
Right.
So you'll see Surge in more than just blue.
Okay, all right, that's great. I know the people who actually put the words on the Magic cards, and they are very, very cautious about the words that they use. There is a very unusual word sitting on Crush of Tentacles. Talk to me about this teammate thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So in Oath of the Gatewatch, Eldrazi are pretty hard to take down, and maybe you'll want to find a teammate to take them down with. So what we're encouraging players to do is play in some more team-oriented formats, such as Two-Headed Giant. Two-Headed Giant is going to be featured actually at pre-releases around the world. We really encourage your store, and if your store is not currently running a Two-Headed Giant event at the pre-release, definitely talk to them about doing so, because it's really extra fun in Two-Headed Giant. Because in one-on-one play, it works totally fine. It's balanced for standard. But if you're playing a Two-Headed Giant game, your teammate casts a spell on turn 5, then you cast your Crush of Tentacles, you've got an Octopus, the board is reset, and you guys are ready to go.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. And the idea, I mean, I know that my local store certainly runs a Two-Headed Giant pre-release every time, and it's always the first one to sell out on the Sunday afternoon because everyone's had their go themselves. And then like, hey, I want to compare notes with my friend about, you know, their pre-release experience, and you get to sit there and go, all right, well, what did you think of this card yesterday? And how about this? And now these work together. But finding a sort of very explicit synergy like Surge sounds like fantastic fun, because you're going to really build decks that want to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and Surge is one example of this, and you'll see a couple others peppered throughout Oath of the Gatewatch, but you'll have to stay tuned to find out just what those are.
Great stuff. So Crush of Tentacles, why don't we have one more look up on the big screen for you. Crush of Tentacles, 4 blue sorcery, Surge cost, 3 blue, and you can get with it, if you pay that Surge cost, you're going to get an 8/8 back. There it is. Quite apart from the fact that you get to return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. Yeah, I can see why that's mythic. Tune in tomorrow for more excitement from Oath of the Gatewatch. We've got more to come this weekend. In the meantime, Gavin Verhey, thank you so much. And it's time for Crush of Tentacles in OGW.